Welcome back. We're going to be doing the cutting. This is the exciting part. Okay, before cutting, just a reminder, all surface stitches, decorative stitches need to be done before you cut. That does not include any of the needle weaving, anything in the cut areas. I'm talking specifically about all your closter blocks, all your satin stitches, any eyelets, here's more decorative stitching, blanket stitches, there's eyelets, decorative, etc. These all have to be done before you cut. Then, when you cut, you are going to cut, pull this up here, we're just going to cut in here first. This cutting around the outside to actually cut the piece out will be the very, very, very last thing we do. So I've already started cutting. You can see that some of this is cut, but I'm going to do the cutting with you. Now these scissors, I found similar scissors, but never this exact pair, and I wish I could find this exact pair again. The only writing on it says Pakistan, and that's it. But these I find are fine enough. The other ones are not as fine, and they're sharp, but they're not too sharp. And the reason I like them sharp but not too sharp is because what I do when I cut. Now, let's see. Okay, first rule of cutting is keep your closter block to the right. Closter block to the right of your blade. So if I cut here, the closter block is on my right. Then I would turn the work and cut here, the closter block is on my right. Do not cut here. There are no stitches in here holding the threads. You do not cut in there. And I'm going to emphasize that because that will cause you a problem if you do. Do not cut these threads or these threads. There are no stitches holding those threads. Only cut where these stitches are coming out. They are going in. Just cut in there. A trick when you're at the corner here is I cut either side first and then I cut the back. I just find that to be easier. So, if you see, I've cut there already. That's where my stitches are holding the thread. So I do not cut in here, but the next cut will be right here. Let me put my scissors in and show you what I do. You can do this, I do 4 threads, but you can do 1, 2, or 3 threads, however comfortable you feel. So just give me a second. I've got to sit down so I can actually see to put my thread in, my scissors in, and then I'll bring it up to the camera. So I treat my scissors like a needle. Can you see that? I have the blade in those, do I have it? No, in those 4, there we go. In those 4 stitches. Those are the 4 stitches that are between each of your satin stitch. Those are the 4 threads, I should say, that are between your satin stitches. And I have my closter block to the right of my blade. I'm right-handed, and I'm going to cut. Now, before I cut, I'm actually going to sit down and see, so make sure I've got it right. Now, the reason I don't want scissors that are too sharp is because I actually move it around a bit to get those threads pushed over. If they were too sharp, they'd start cutting through the threads before I'm ready. So it's not sharp, or it's not too sharp, which means I can do that. And I can get those threads exposed and ready to be clipped. So, let me make sure I'm clipping them right, and I am. Here we go, there's a cut. I turn the work, and I do the next cut. Now again, I can't see, so let me get down here. I put my scissors in, come out that hole. I have 4 threads. Can you see that? I have 4 threads. Don't worry about this little thread that's hanging in there. But I make sure those satin stitches, my pearl cotton, is out of the way of my blade, and then I can cut. And there you go. That's cut. Again, I'm going to put my blade in where that stitch actually goes into the fabric and out 4 stitches later. Now, like I said, you can do them one at a time. If you feel more comfortable, do it one at a time. And again, I'm just making sure those satin stitches are out of the way, that pearl cotton is out of the way, and then I cut. There you go. And because this is that 3-sided corner, I'm going to do the other side before I do the top or back, whatever you want to call it. Again, same thing. And now for the last part, same thing. So I've just got a couple more on this side. Let me get those cut and cut. 4, okay. And then you need to cut everything on this side because we are actually pulling out these threads. Same thing, most of this I've already cut, but I'm just going to turn it to find the uncut area. Again, my closter block will go on the right. I'll put my scissor blade in where the stitches are going in, and I've got my 4 threads on there, and I cut. So do not cut here, there's no stitches holding it. Cut where the stitches are. Same thing again. Let's get these cut. There we go. I wouldn't worry too much about these threads sticking out because when you wash it after you're done, it'll shrink back. So, and if you really need to, you can trim them after too. Let's see here. There we go. Oops, I just dropped the camera. Hang on. Look at that. Oh, we're already at 7 minutes. Let me go this quick here, and I'm going to show you this. Hang on a second. I really hope we can make it before the 12 minutes. There. And hopefully I've got everything cut now. Okay. I get my tweezers. This is my favorite part. I get my basket for my threads. I start pulling. Look at that. Look at that. Start pulling your threads out. There. There. And just pull some threads out, and you will start to see where the needle weaving goes. That's exciting to me. That's my favorite part, is to get this pulled out. You can start to see already where your needle weaving will end up going. I'm going to do this entire area. We've got 8 minutes, almost 9, so let's keep going. Just a minute. I'm going to sit down so I can actually see and hopefully keep it in frame for you. Sometimes you have to tug a bit. Sometimes you tug and it doesn't come. That means you haven't cut that thread. So let's keep going here. As I said, I'm hoping it's staying in frame so that you can see what I'm doing. There. There. Okay. I'm going to come back up here so I can... No, this isn't working here. Okay. I would like to show you more... Uh-oh, did I not cut a piece? Oh no, it's coming from the other side, that's why. Okay. There. This is a longer piece, so it's a little bit tougher to pull. And it's a bit fiddly, but as I said, it's my favorite part because you start to see magic happen. See all that? That's where you're going to do your needle weaving. And that's where the magic of Hardanger happens. Okay, I'm going to continue pulling these threads, and then I'll come back and we will do the needle weaving, which will include the dove's eyes because they will be done, well, you'll see when we do it. At any rate, as I said, this is the most exciting part. I'll be back.